Well, I did have one before that, but it was an e-girl reaction video and I don't know where it went. I think my dog ate it. So this was actually the second video I ever made. But this channel was all about gaming at first, which is why I'm so bad at talking. And back then I didn't know how to edit either. After uploading a couple videos and getting like 4 views each because they were absolute trash, I started looking around YouTube for inspiration, trying to figure out what kind of videos would get me more views. While doing that, I stumbled across the old Scary Movie YouTube channel, specifically their video Top 10 Scariest Found Footage Horror Movies. Now I'd watched some of these movies before, but I hadn't realized that they were found footage movies. When I learned that, it completely changed the way I watched them. You know, knowing that it was supposed to be found footage changed the whole movie. For me, it made it scarier. Now, watching this top 10 list video, it was just about the most exciting thing I had seen in weeks. The way he described each movie sounded so cool. I mean, even the ones that I'd watched before sounded better when he described them. So I decided then and there that I wanted to make something like that. Something original, something scary, something found footage. I spent a couple months brainstorming ideas, but none of them were good enough. I couldn't come up with anything that would scare people. I mean, the best idea I had was a guy walking down a hallway and suddenly a skeleton jumps out and says, "Boo." Yeah, I didn't think that was very scary either. But then one day I was just sitting in my room thinking about stuff and that's when it hit me. Why not make a found footage movie that's just about a cameraman wandering around a TV station after hours and something scary chasing him? I thought it was perfect. There weren't any big jump scares or anything. It was just gonna build suspense as he gets further and further away from the safety of the TV station, and it could end however it wanted to. Also, since I was going to film this by myself, this premise allowed me to use a lot of wide shots instead of relying on close-ups, which is what most of my shots were during those Minecraft videos. So I wrote the script, filmed the thing in my basement, and edited it together using Windows Movie Maker because I didn't know how to use Premiere yet. It took me forever to finish because I didn't know what I was doing. But eventually I finished the script, uploaded it to YouTube, waited a day for it to process, and then put it on my channel. I didn't expect anyone to watch it, let alone enjoy it, but 2 days later I got my first comment. 4 days after that, I got my first like, and a week after that, it reached 1,000 views. To say I was shocked is a huge understatement. 1,000 views seemed like a milestone that would never be reached, let alone the amount of views it actually got. People were leaving comments saying things like, "This is the scariest thing I've ever seen," and "I'm never going to sleep again," and it just felt great. You know, all those months of planning and filming and editing, it finally paid off. And I honestly thought that was the end of it. You know, once it was uploaded, I moved on to the next project. But I kept checking back on it every now and then to see how many views it had and to check the comments. One day I checked and it had over 1 million views and I freaked out. I told my mom, who literally slapped me upside the head because she was trying to concentrate on work and I was just screaming. Anyway, the video went a little bit viral and gained millions of views overnight. And that led to me being contacted by a local TV station asking if they could air the video on their channel. They said they loved it and thought it was so creative. I obviously agreed, and a few days later it aired. It was one of the coolest things I had ever experienced. You know, seeing the video on the TV, the actual TV, was surreal. Anyway, they asked me if I would want to make another video for them, and I said sure, so I made another one. Then they asked me if I would want to make a series for them. And that was how Found was born. Each week we would plan out a new found footage horror story, film it in my basement, edit it, and then send it off to the TV station. Some of the stories were inspired by real-life events and others were based on common creepy past experiences people had shared online. We tried to make each video scarier than the last one. With each video taking more and more effort and detail to produce, I was having so much fun. You know, I had a blast working with the people involved. We created some truly terrifying things. I remember one time my friend made a voodoo doll and then stuck pins in it while chanting, and the cameraman just stood there slowly backing away, and the entire time the doll was wobbling like it was alive. Yeah, that scene made it into the final cut. Most of the time, if something was scary to us while we were making the videos, we kept it in the final cut. There was also one video that featured me as the cameraman, and the actor playing me was really committed to his role. I mean, at one point he grabs the camera and runs around my house while I'm hiding under a blanket in the closet. But then he stopped filming for a second to peek under the blanket to see if I was really there. And when he saw that I wasn't, he started screaming and dropped the camera. He said he had the biggest heart attack and almost quit right then and there. But we talked him down and he finished the rest of the video without peeking under the blanket again. Over the course of making these videos, I taught myself how to properly edit, and that was super rewarding. I remember the first time I used a transition. I was so proud of myself. That was until I realized it was the wrong transition and it didn't even make sense. Whoops. Anyway, I eventually figured out how to edit, and the videos continued to be successful. I mean, we had one video called Demonic Polaroid Camera, and the response to it was insane. I remember everyone sharing pictures of their friends that they had taken with Polaroid cameras and claiming that it was demonic. It was wild. But after a while, the interest in found footage horror started to die down. Some of our newer videos weren't getting as many views as our older ones. And to be honest, we were kind of running out of ideas anyway. So we decided to call it quits. But the thing is, even though the show was over, the platform wanted more content from me. So I started making different kinds of videos, stuff that I thought viewers would enjoy. That's when I made my first non-found footage video, which was a video about haunted houses. To promote it, I included a clip from the video in the description of my other videos. So that way, whenever someone watched one of my found footage videos and they liked it, they would click the link in the description to watch more of me, and that led them to that video. And then a year after that, I released my first ever storytime video. I mean, this entire channel is pretty much a result of that first video and all the views and subscribers that came along with it. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching and giving a chance to a weird kid making videos in his basement, and thank you for sticking around all these years later. You guys are amazing and I love you. Bye.